and the Mayor just does not answer our questions. We are asking questions on behalf of Londoners, and we are entitled to proper answers.
Susan Hall shows the Assembly evidence about Sadiq Khan. You're not going to believe what just unfolded inside the London Assembly. While the cameras were rolling, and the pressure was high, Susan Hall, leader of the opposition in City Hall, came armed with something Sadiq Khan wasn't ready for. Evidence. Documents. Numbers that cut straight into the heart of his leadership. This wasn't just a casual debate. This was one of those rare political moments where you could feel the air change in the room. Because when Hall dropped her evidence on the table, she wasn't just challenging policy. She was challenging Khan's credibility, and everyone watching knew it. So, let's break down exactly what happened. The setting: a tense Assembly meeting in London. The agenda: accountability. For weeks, critics have been hammering Khan over London's spiraling costs, transport issues, and rising concerns about public safety. Susan Hall, never one to hold back, decided to push things further. Instead of just repeating talking points, she brought receipts, printed figures, official reports, and direct comparisons between what Khan had promised and what had actually been delivered. One of her key points: the cost of transport for London. She laid out numbers showing a bigger-than-expected financial gap and then looked directly at Khan, asking, "How do you justify these figures when Londoners are paying more but getting less?" The room went quiet. Khan tried to respond, talking about government underfunding and global economic pressures. But Hall pressed again, this time pulling out another sheet of data. She pointed out delays in housing projects Khan had championed years earlier, showing completion numbers that didn't line up with his earlier promises. And then she delivered the line that has since gone viral online: "If this is delivery, then London deserves far better." The reaction was immediate. Some Assembly members nodded in agreement. Others shifted uncomfortably, clearly unsure which way the exchange was going. But the cameras caught it all: Khan visibly frustrated, Hall leaning in, determined not to let him wriggle away. On social media, the clip blew up. One viewer tweeted, "Susan Hall just schooled Khan with his own numbers. Brutal." Another posted, "Finally, someone holding him to account with evidence, not speeches." And the memes came flooding in: 2 screenshots of Hall waving her papers, captioned with lines like, "Evidence incoming," or "When the receipts are too heavy to ignore." But here's why this matters beyond the viral moment. In politics, perception is often more powerful than raw data. And what Hall managed to do was frame Khan as a mayor caught out by his own record. It doesn't matter if Khan has explanations, what people will remember is that image. Him defending, her exposing. One political insider even told a UK outlet afterward, "This is the kind of exchange that sticks in voters' minds." Hall didn't need to shout, she just had to show the numbers. And that's the key. Calm but relentless pressure. Evidence, not noise. Now, of course, Khan's team hasn't stayed silent. A spokesperson fired back, saying, "Susan Hall cherry-picks figures to mislead Londoners. The mayor has overseen record investment in transport and housing despite hostile funding conditions." And Khan himself later defended his record, saying, "We are delivering for Londoners every single day, and we won't be distracted by political stunts." But here's the thing: when the opposition walks into the chamber with physical documents, statistics highlighted, and comparisons that are easy for the public to digest, calling it a stunt doesn't erase the image. So what's the bigger impact here? For Susan Hall, this moment gives her a surge of political capital. She can point to that exchange and say, "I asked the tough questions. I showed the evidence." It positions her not just as a critic, but as someone willing to dig deep, to do the homework, to confront power with facts. For Sadiq Khan, it raises uncomfortable questions. His supporters will argue he's still delivering, but the narrative now has cracks. If voters start believing that he's promising more than he's delivering, that's dangerous territory for any politician. And for Londoners themselves, this moment speaks to a larger frustration: the feeling that leaders are too often shielded by rhetoric, until someone brave enough puts the numbers on the table. Let's not forget, politics isn't just about policies, it's about stories. And Susan Hall just wrote one that could follow Sadiq Khan into the next election cycle. A story where she's the one with the evidence, and he's the one on the defensive. One analyst summed it up best in a late-night panel: "Khan will try to dismiss this. But images matter, and Hall just gave the opposition its most powerful image yet. So, here's where we leave it. Will this exchange fade in a week's time, drowned out by new headlines? Or will it become the moment Londoners look back on as the start of a bigger challenge to Khan's leadership? That's the question right now. Because if one assembly session, one stack of papers, can shake the narrative this much, imagine what happens if more evidence comes forward. And that, my friends, may be the real story still to come.